Hey guys, it's Shadow, and today we are going to be playing Cities Skylines. Now, this is part 2 in the series. If you haven't already seen the first part, please go check it out. Now, this was actually requested by President on my channel to continue doing this series. I had messed around with doing it before, and I've already explained this to him in the comments. But apparently, after I bought my game, I installed a lot of mods. Like, anybody who got this game and hadn't already had mods on it, like, it's just kind of a temptation just to install everything. My advice is to not install everything, obviously, because that's not going to work. But I installed a lot of mods, and I think they caused a lot of incompatibilities. So I've been messing around with that for about a week now, trying to make sure it worked. And it seems like I bought After Dark and Snowfall and kind of threw them into my game, and now it's working fine. So I don't know if that was what the problem was. Maybe it was because it was missing those DLCs or something. But either way, now I had fun doing this, which I should. It's kind of one of the things that makes the video, right? But what I first started doing was I started building this bridge that bridged across the kind of river area, but I also wanted it to continue over to the new area as well and be kind of thrown in and not just have a flat ground road so there's an area to build on. So what I did is I did that, and then I threw in kind of a regular highway to follow on the main ground, and I just kind of started building from that. Now I kind of used that little bumped up area on the map to make sure that it was working properly, but other than that, it seemed to be fine. Now I just kind of threw together a grid real quick. I didn't really worry about placement, but by the end of the video I was kind of thinking, I was like, man, I really should have worried about placement more, because just, I don't know, like the way that things didn't really work out and they all just kind of didn't fit together kind of sucked. So I mean, it looks very pretty in the end, but some more planning in the end would have been a great thing to do. Now I had a bunch of these mods, and I had some I think it's offshore like, God, what are they called, wind turbines, and then I used kind of a offshore relay to extend it over without having to use any kind of floating, not telephone poles, but power poles. And I thought that would be kind of nice. So one thing that I wish I would have changed before I did this was I wish I would have changed this, I think it's a 4-lane road, or it's a road with turning lanes or something like that. I wish I would have changed that from that to a actual freeway road, the double-sided one, so it's like one way. I wish I would have done that. That way I could have off-ramps, but I was just kind of scarce on time and threw it together real quick. And I still kind of am scarce on time because it's 1:13 a.m. and I'm making this video. So I just wanted to make it and kind of throw it out there so I could have some extra time to do the things I need. And everybody kind of needs that. So yeah. Now I started off with using the regular tools to make stuff like fire departments and healthcare, and what is the last one? Police. And I think in education too, because it was just like, oh, well, we obviously need those. Let's get those out of the way before everything else goes down. So I did that, and I also forgot to connect the power grid. So that's just amazing. Now I just kind of filled in the area. I didn't want to use any the high-end industrial. I just wanted to use office building industrial, just because I thought it would be cool. Now I did get the free DLC. I think it's called Showtime or Game Time or something like that. Now it is kind of a cool DLC. It gives you the ability to make stadiums and control games and stuff. It's not like fully in depth. There's only one stadium to my knowledge, and I don't really think that you can control the team very well. You can kind of watch, you can control their budget, but other than that, that's about it. Now, it is kind of a cool inclusion. I would like to see Paradox kind of continue on with it, maybe add some more different kinds of stadiums. But so far, it seems like there's only football stadiums, so yeah, that's just a thing. Now, I do need to get a better brush tool somehow to place down more trees, because as you can see, I'm trying to place down trees, but not very many of them are placing down. And there was kind of a peek at the menu of it. But yeah, office buildings went up here very fast, a lot faster than I expected. But maybe those will turn into skyscrapers someday. That'll be nice. Now, I think I just kind of sat here for a while. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was just checking my phone, and I meant to cut that little area out. So, if you guys have suggestions on what areas I should build in on this area, leave them in the comments. Maybe if you have a mod that you want to see in this series, or if it's just some idea that you want me to place down, like a custom park that you designed, you can send it to me on Steam. My username is the Shadow208, capital T-H-E. Capital T, lowercase h-e, capital S, lowercase h-a-d-o-w 208. Now, that hopefully, I don't know how the whole sharing on Steam works, but if you have a custom asset that you've made in your game, you should send it to me on Steam, and I will find the best place to place it in the game, unless you have a specific area that you want. And at that point, I will just kind of place it where you want it. Hopefully that it'll work. Now, one thing that I did notice is whenever I placed this stadium during a game, traffic backed up so bad that people could not get out of the parking lot. Now, one of the things the game did suggest to me whenever I first built the stadium was to build some kind of proper way to get people around, like a taxi service or a train station. So I had a mod that I downloaded, which was a sunk-in train station. Now, it's basically like the tracks whenever you first make them, and the whole station is just far enough underground that it won't interfere with any buildings you already have unless it won't fit, which is kind of one of the main deals that I've figured out, which is really hard to deal with. So I had to use a lot of road anarchy on this just to make things fit. Some things did fit, they just didn't want to go in all the way whenever they were longer, which was kind of strange, but it was whatever. So I had to remove this highway, I guess you can call it a highway, but I had to remove this highway back and even the stadium just to kind of sort of curve it around the road to make it fit perfectly. Now, I tried to fit it like that, but I was like, I want people to have a streamlined, just regular, everyday road transit, and I couldn't find a good way to do it. So I kind of, I turned on the free building thing right there and kind of curved it around. And I like how it looks. From the air, it doesn't really look very good, but I kind of sunk in the roads, and they kind of just fit perfectly. I turned on prop anarchy, and it worked fine. Even though it said that it wouldn't work, it worked fine. So that's one thing. Like if you don't already have prop anarchy and road anarchy, go ahead and get those, because it does help a lot whenever you're having a lot of problems with roads. Now, I think at this point I wanted to make some kind of pathway for pedestrians to be able to walk to the train station safely without getting hit by cars. Even though you can already do that, traffic will stop for them, but I don't want traffic to back up that bad. So I wanted to provide a alternate route for them to go over the highway. So I got the utilities out of the way and built this little pedestrian bridge, and I thought it looks pretty cool. And then on top of that, people won't have to, like, the only road they'll have to cross is the one right in front of the stadium, because I couldn't fit anything else in. Maybe I can change that, but I didn't spend very much time on it. So hopefully that'll work. They'll be able to walk to the train station safely and not get hit. So at this point, I started work on the train station. Now, if you're placing tracks in these kind of train stations, you want to make sure that you're placing underground by default. So before you start placing stuff down, go ahead and lower down the train track. It will save you a lot of frustration with trying to like get it out of the way and stuff. It's weird. And now one thing that I did notice is my first bridge that I made, the regular car bridge, it worked fine for getting the ships underneath it. They do kind of clip through one of the pillars, but I could not get this railroad at a certain angle to where it would work. So the boats kind of clip through it. There's not much I can do about it. Like, I can use Road Anarchy to make a like actual way for them to go under and not clip it, but I do worry because like the trains would not be able to logically go up that steep of an incline, and it was also messing with the tunnels that come out of the ground as well. So I just kind of left it alone, and it's just kind of the way it is. There's not much I can really do about it. So it's the way it looks about like that in the end after I was done messing with it. But see what I mean right here? It's just too steep for a train to go up and down. It's just ridiculous. I could do that, but if you look at the tunnel right there, it's too steep. Like, the train would literally clip the top of it. Now, one thing I did notice is the moon. I have a mod for my moons, and I believe it only works in After Dark. And I obviously have it now, but I think because I had the mod before I had After Dark, it messed up. So there's like a square literally on the moon whenever it goes down. I might have to reinstall that or uninstall it or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. If you've had problems with the mods that I have, you should leave a comment on how you fixed them. Or if you didn't fix them, leave how mad you are in the comments, which I will definitely listen to your madness. It is crazy out there. Mods are just ridiculous sometimes. Oh man, if you have any suggestions for what games I should do, please leave them in the comments. It'll help me out a lot, because at this point I'm kind of guessing on what content to do. Like, not completely, but some things I don't know what to do. Like, I want to do Fallout, maybe like Fallout 4, but I don't really have a good way to do those kind of videos. If you have suggestions on what, like, if you want to see mods or if you want to see gameplay, I know the company NVIDIA, which is a graphics card company, they actually worked on a entire mod for Fallout 4 themselves. They released a tiny trailer for it on YouTube. If you haven't already seen it, go ahead and search that on YouTube. Maybe like NVIDIA Fallout 4 mod or something like that. And hopefully some results should come up. Now, I'm very interested in that mod. I think it's coming out sometime this month. It's probably available for all consoles, since all consoles have mods now. At least I believe they do. I think Xbox was the first to get it, I believe, and then PlayStation. I wasn't keeping up with it very well, but PC definitely has it already. I've been using that for a while, but if you want to see me like play something like that, because I think it's like an hour-long mod, leave a comment. Any kind of suggestions helps a lot. Like, President is one of the only guys I've seen that usually, like, he will comment on videos that he's more interested in watching. And, you know, thank you so much, President. Thank you for doing that. It helps me out a lot more than you probably think. I was literally out walking my neighbor's dog today whenever you commented and asked for the City Skylines part 2. So I was like, you know what? I've been really kind of wanting to do that. My first video literally did not have any voiceover. I kind of had to get a video out at the last moment, and I know some days I don't have videos out, President. I know you haven't said anything about this, but I'm sure you're probably wondering, because normally what I want to do is upload on a daily basis, but sometimes I get wrapped up in stuff. And I had a lot going on this past week, and I've just been like gritting my teeth to get through everything that I've had to work on. So I hope you can kind of accept my apology for that. I am trying to keep on schedule as much as I possibly can. So the end of the video is coming up. There are some screenshots of the game Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you have any kind of comments on the city, or if you have suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. I hope you liked the video, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!